This week we are talking all about timings, and here is the perfect timeline of the day. Hi, I'm Georgie, wedding planner and coordinator based here in the UK, giving you all of the information that you need to plan your own wedding. Okay, so I may have slightly lied at the start there, but this is the most typical wedding timeline that you will find at weddings in the UK. I can't express to you though how important it is to get your own timings right. So as we go through this, if there's things that are different to you, that's fine. We will do a whole other video on how to make your own and how to tweak these ones, but this is a great starting point. Okay, so the average ceremony in the UK is at 2 p.m. This is assuming that the ceremony is on site at the venue and it's either a legal or registrar ceremony or a celebrant that's coming to the place where your whole day is. Now, a legal registrar ceremony or a celebrant-led ceremony in the UK is likely to take half an hour. So if we've started at 2 p.m, we have now finished that ceremony at 2:30. You as the couple will typically leave the ceremony, hide out the way, and your guests will then line up to make confetti line. We hand out the confetti, we get them all ready. You guys will then walk down that line, have confetti thrown over to you. It'll be like a whole Hollywood movie. You'll have a great time. Bam, that's 15 minutes gone. We are now on 2:45. So already, where's your day gone? But also don't forget that we don't want a huge long day that we have to fill loads of gaps. So if you feel like 2:45 is a bit late to be starting, just wait. Once you finish confetti, you are now into that drinks reception time. So this time is for drinks, photos, canapes, lawn games, magicians, music. It can all be happening in this time. Depending on how many things you have got happening, depends on how long you want that drinks reception. But the normal drinks reception is anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. The most typical, and again, that's what we're doing in this episode, the most typical timing for that is an hour and a half. So we've gone from 2:45 finishing confetti right up now to 4:15. At 4:15, this is when we're inviting all of the guests to move from the drinks reception to the wedding breakfast. So if you've got anywhere around 60 guests, it will take at least 15 minutes to get everyone from there to here. They will go to the toilet, they will put their bags down, they'll go get another drink, they'll just take one more photo. 15 minutes is the least you need. Once everybody is finally in and sat down, we are then into introducing you guys in. We don't typically add a huge amount of time for you for that bit. It kind of gets eaten in within the day, but it takes about 30 seconds to say, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome the bride and groom. Head on in and go and sit at your table. We are now on 4:30, and this is where you can decide to either have a wedding breakfast or speeches. For these typical timings, I am going to put the speeches in now because most of the weddings I do, speeches are first. For 3 speeches, we're going to allow 30 minutes. So we've now gone from 4:30 speeches to 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, we're now starting our wedding breakfast. So if you're going for a 3-course sit-down meal, speak to your caterers, but typically it's 2 hours. So we would allow between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. for food service. Most venues in the UK use the same room for the wedding breakfast as they do for the evening. So that involves what's called a turnaround. So basically, we need all of your guests to move from this room, kick them out, turn that room around, clear it up, the band sets up, the DJ sets up, the caterers remove some tables, you've got some space, you can then all come back in. So you need to be very conscious of that turnaround time. So again, typical wedding timings, I'm going to allow an hour for that. Now, the best way to get all of those people out of that room is to do something like a cake cutting or announce to them to move. So if you do a cake cutting at the end of your wedding breakfast, you can cut the cake, it's all very awkward and fun. Cut the cake and then say, we're now heading through to the bar where we're gonna get ready for the evening. So you then move all of your guests from point A to point B. If you are inviting evening guests to your wedding, we wanna be inviting them half an hour after the wedding breakfast has finished or a half an hour after your speeches are finished. We want that buffer time so that your evening guests aren't arriving at the same time as your speeches are happening, because that is awkward. So if we finished our wedding breakfast at 7 p.m, we've cut the cake and we've sent everybody to the bar, at 7:30, your evening guests will start to arrive and then mingle and mix with all the people that were there in the daytime. This also allows you half an hour to be able to say hi to them and chat and get a drink and freshen up. Again, we want to give evening guests around half an hour to be able to actually get there, enjoy themselves, grab a drink. So we're going to go for an 8 o'clock first dance on these typical timings. So at 8 p.m, we're moving all of the guests from point B back to point A to be able to watch your first dance so they can gather around the dance floor and you can start then. I have then gone for a 10 p.m. evening food time slot. This means that the daytime guests have had enough time between finishing their food and having more, but our evening guests haven't waited too long to be fed. And all of these timings are based on a 12 a.m. finish. So it is very important to find out what time that venue are going to kick you out, or at least what time they're going to stop all the music in the bar, because that's the important stuff. Another couple of things to think about if you're doing your timings is access time and clear up time. What time can your suppliers and you guys get into your venue? If your florist and stylist can't arrive until 11 p.m. and you're thinking of a 12 p.m. ceremony and you want big elaborate floor displays and ceiling installs, it's probably not going to happen. Also, what time can you access as the couple? Can you be on site to have your hair and makeup done? If it's a 10 a.m. arrival, is that enough time for you to get ready? I would argue no. So can you look at options of being in an Airbnb off-site? We're also then going to think of the clear up times. Do you have to clear up at 12 o'clock? For your sake, I hope not. But just find out what time it all needs to be gone by to then understand if you need to get people to come in and help you clear or whether your suppliers need to come back. I want to make this part of the video very clear. These are the typical perfect wedding timings. You may be listening to this thinking, oh my God, mine are nowhere near this, and that is okay. We will work out how to do your timings. But these are great timings to work your day from. The key elements that you need to know is how long your ceremony lasts, how many things you've got going on in your drinks reception, how long your wedding breakfast takes to be served, and how long that turnaround time needs to be. Do not forget in that turnaround that your band may need to set up. If they tell you it takes an hour and a half to set up, it's an hour and a half turnaround. I also want to be super clear that a church timeline would look very different, mainly because a church ceremony is longer and you would have travel time in that as well. But let me know in the comments if you are having a church ceremony and therefore would like to know the perfect timeline for that. Anyway, I hope this super quick video has helped you with the perfect wedding timeline. But make sure if you've got questions to put them below and I will come back to them. But also make sure you're subscribing and hit that notification button so that every time I come on, you are the first to know. And I'll see you next week.